Now we have Rockwell Automation, who most of you know as Allen Bradley. They do a lot more than that, but for us, it's almost all exclusively the Allen Bradley side of things. And Diana Hamilton, I'll let you introduce Reagan, although I sort of just did. Do you have a microphone?
No, may I?
Yes. You can flip it on.
So maybe we should trade off with this one. Okay. Well, testing. Can you hear me? Or should I just project louder? All right. Sounds good. Let me know. HDMI, should I? Right. I thought I'd start off by sharing a friend who I happened to bump into this past weekend. Just a wonderful bull moose who had the high ground on me while hiking in the Rocky Mountain National Park. I would say that he was more intimidating than this room of people. And I'm glad to say I walked away unscathed by my friend here. But here, let's dive back into the heart of the meeting and why my colleague Reagan and I, oh, excuse me, let's go back to the meeting. Why Reagan and I are here today. As Walt shared, I'm Diana with Rockwell Automation. I'm a local OEM account manager. That's part of the broad network of Rockwell sales account managers. We are representing the partnership today between Rockwell and Custom Instrumentation Services. We are just the Denver territory team members. I am happy to introduce my colleague, a technical consultant. You want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Reagan Matthews. I'm a technology consultant focused on software and control. So PLCs, HMIs, and any software used to program those are kind of my focus, supporting our customers in the Denver territory, but there are folks like me across the country to serve whatever region you're based out of.
We also have another colleague in the crowd. David, if you'd raise your hand. He's here and even better, good to spot him. He's here to also help with inquiries. If you want follow-up from Rockwell, we do have resources local to where you are, and we can assist you with any inquiry follow-up you'd like. I don't know why it's going to all my photos of my hiking adventures. Sorry about that. There we go. A little bit more background about myself and what do I serve for you all? Well, I am the support arm from Rockwell for CiSCO and Walt's team, but that means I'm a support arm to you as well. So if you happen to come up with inquiries or maybe a request for a consultant, we can help you. So Rockwell Automation, if you don't know about us, we're just a small $7 billion global company. We have almost 25,000 employees and resources that abound. We're best known for our flagship product, programmable logic controllers, going back to 1903, when Lind Bradley and Staten Allen came together to form the Allen Bradley Company and produced some of the first programmable logic controllers, aka the brain power of your continuous emission monitoring systems. And what do we care about? Rockwell was founded on partnership. So you take us back all the way to our roots in 1903, all the way to 120 years later, partnership is still a foundation bedrock of how we go to market and go to business. And we care greatly about how we can support you with any of your initiatives, whether they be focused on Walt's and his team's CEMS systems, general migration and modernization support, helping you with the full life cycle of your products from the day you buy it to the day it goes obsolete or end of life and you need to modernize to the next solution. So 3 categories Rockwell is best known for, namely our products. We do manufacture very robust, high quality products. We also have services and support. We are an extension of CiSCO's services team. So naturally, your process might be, oh, we have a problem with our system. Let's call CiSCO. CiSCO might escalate to Rockwell. We might pull in our domain experts, our different field service engineers if we need to deploy someone local to you. You have support at your fingertips. And we're also known as a technology leader. We have entered into every industry type you can imagine, and we have made quite a lot of robust acquisitions in the past 5 to 6 years. Would love to dig into that, but let's stay focused on why we were invited today, PLCs. And I have to make a shameless plug before handing it over to my technical colleague here, who's going to go a little bit of a deeper dive. Rockwell's biggest event of the year is coming up in just 9 weeks. It's Automation Fair. This year it's going to be in Chicago. It's going to be at the McCormick Place Center. And what can you look forward to at this event? It's free to register and attend. Sessions, technical sessions for engineers to deep dive into understanding of ladder logic programming, aspects related to power, motion control. What formerly used to be an at-cost feature of this event, hands-on labs are free this year. So that's very exciting. You get to hear keynote speakers from our executive leader, Blake Moret, and industry forums if you want insights from our industry leaders. And now, I am excited to give you one analogy. You probably saw my pictures. I'm really into mountaineering. I'm a summit bagger. I love to go for those high 14,000 foot peaks here in Colorado. And I like analogies about mountaineering. How do you climb a mountain? One step at a time. How do you manage migration or modernization of your legacy products? If you've got a 20-year-old Rockwell PLC, I'm not surprised, they last. But if you need support in modernizing that, Rockwell can guide you through that. You would engage CiSCO, pull in a Rockwell consultant, and we will step-by-step phase you forward and modernize you to current product supported on current software, giving you predictive and preventative maintenance and analytic diagnostics that can help you have smarter operations. And passing it over now to Reagan Matthews, my coworker, who can tell you more about our PLCs and how we can assist you. Thank you.
Great.
I'm just switch the HDMI now.
Yeah, that would be great.
Oh, I get to hand you this.
I've got one.
Oh.
Thank you, though.
Did I project okay?
So- Beautiful. It's always great when it works the first time. This looks like a clicker. All right, I'm going to use it as such. Okay, so the focus of my spiel for you guys is going to be on implementing that migration from SLC or PLC 5s to our more modern controller suite. So Rockwell uses this system to kind of classify the support state of our products. Active is our most modern solutions. They're in production, shipping, and are fully supported by our technical support team. Active mature means essentially that there is a more modern option, but it's fully supported and likely in production the same way that active products are. And end of life is a bit of an intermediate phase that we use to give folks a little bit of time to procure replacement parts, to modernize before those parts that they rely on go obsolete and are officially discontinued. So in 2017, the SLIC was discontinued, and in 2015, the PLC 5 went into life and is now officially discontinued. So our service and support for those products is quickly teetering off. Some reasons beyond product availability that you'll want to modernize are that our software is all built for compatibility with our most modern suite. Higher uptime, more easy to procure these parts. Easy to procure being a relative statement these days. But you'll have higher reliability and some greater features that I'll dig into moving forward. So the reason that we discontinue these products over time is we have our own components that change over time in terms of what's available. And oftentimes our products will rely on third-party operating systems like Microsoft, for example, that have their own phases of support. And so we kind of follow those phases as well. Me again. All right. Going backwards. There we go. So this is our modern controller offerings. We have our MicroLogix and Micro 800 controllers. These are typically for smaller standalone machines. ControlLogix and CompactLogix is really our premier suite of controllers. The Logix platform has built-in security, safety, et cetera, that really sets it apart and offers some greater integration capabilities for our customers. So compact logics and control logics is definitely where we're going controller-wise. Our advanced and trusted controllers are safety rated, depending on your application's needs. Some are washdown capable of withstanding extreme temperatures, things like that. They're ruggedized and focused on safety if that's a priority for you. They also, many of them provide secondary and tertiary fault tolerance and redundancy for that high availability, high uptime, which is, of course, a great priority for all of us. So if you're currently using a MicroLogix controller, the natural progression is either to a Micro 800 or a Compact Logix based on the size of your application. This migration in part to a Micro 800 will be a price benefit because they're more affordable and sold very modularly. So you can buy exactly how much IO, for example, you want without overpaying. Compact Logix offers that enhanced Logix integration with more advanced security, automatic alarming and diagnostics, and some greater feature sets that are richer than the MicroLogix experience you may have had. From older models of Compact Logix and from SLICs, the natural migration is to our Compact Logix line. You'll see that it is actually less expensive than the SLIC and has enhanced capabilities, as I've kind of touched on already. Yes. That's a great question. So we have RS Logix to Logix conversion tools for your existing program, which is what he's mentioning. So you essentially upload your existing SLIC or PLC program, and it automatically converts what it can. Right now, that's at 80%, but there is a report that's generated at the end of that conversion that outlines, the places that you do want to revisit, make sure are in line. So it's guided, it's more guided, and there's a bit higher conversion. So I'll talk a bit more about that later, but really good question. Similarly, the PLC5 is typically targeted towards more complex systems, and for that reason, the substitute is our Control Logix line, which is intended for larger, more complex systems. And I want to talk now about some of the tools that we have to support modernization that were referenced a minute ago. So from a planning perspective, before you implement your change, Integrated Architecture Builder is a free tool that's available for customers. It has 3 migration wizards in it, PLC, SLC, and MicroLogix migration wizards. So essentially you step in, configure your current system, and it'll generate a bill of materials for what you would need for a modernized system. I do want to show you guys what that looks like really quick, because I think it's cool. So I have this migration project started. This is the chassis that I configured to represent a legacy system. And you can see I just dragged, I selected which processor is in my current system. I added my IO, and it automatically generates what the equivalent system would need for a modernized Logix system. You also notice here you can include or not include a conversion kit. I'll dig into what that means in a moment, but from within this tool, you can pretty simply generate exactly what you would need to revamp a more modern system. So when it comes to the SCISCO 500, there are kind of two options, whether you want to replace your IO or retain your IO. So if you want to replace your IO, we do have wiring conversion systems so that your wiring can stay in place with your existing IO modules, and this attachment can be added so that it is compatible with your newer chassis. These wiring conversion systems exist for SCISC to control logics, SCISC to compact, PLC to control logics, or for many third-party controllers. We have also wiring conversion so that they can pretty quickly pop on top of your existing system, so you don't risk wiring things wrong, and also saves you some work time. So this is what that system looks like. You have your original mounting plate. Above that, the SCISC IO upper mounting plate, your new controller, and then that's the kind of conversion wiring that brings your former IO system to your new system. So I think I have a little video. Look at this. So essentially, this would be your original system. You pop out your former IO. Replace with a control logics chassis. These are the adapter modules. And so you place your original IO back in those modules. And then you pop your new controller chassis right on top. Add in all your new IO modules, and then just simply wire up your former IO to your new IO. That can be a big time saver and makes the task of replacing a controller a little bit less daunting. Typically saves 10 hours per rack, according to our marketing geniuses. The alternative option, which is to retain your IO chassis, you can use one of our modern controllers in tandem with a serial adapter, or kind of the alternative, which would be putting an Ethernet adapter on that IO chassis, and then not making any changes to that, but being able to communicate with it from a more modern controller. So you're having the more modern controller using your same existing IO. Depending on the scale of your application, this may be more palatable. So one thing to consider is the programming language that's used for each of these controllers. Our legacy programming software is RSLogix. Our Micro 800s are special, so they get their own little CCW program. But the rest, our modern portfolio pretty much uses Studio 5000. So that will demand a programming change. And to that note, we do have code conversion tools, both from RSLogix 5 and 500 and 5000 to Studio 5000 for our Logic suite, or to CCW for our Micro 800 suite. So CCW has fuller coverage of the code that gets converted. Again, depending on your application, to convert to a Logix program, which is our kind of premier path. CCW is Connected Components Workbench. Wow, I really try to be good about not using Rockwell acronyms without explaining them, but we love our acronyms, and I guess they've gotten deep into my own brain too. So anyway, depending on your application, there may require some additional configuration on top of the automatic conversion, but it does save a good chunk of engineering time as opposed to starting from scratch. Quick touch on our HMI offerings. If you do decide to update your system, you may also want to modernize your HMI. We offer awesome industrial computers and monitors, which are ASEM is, we pronounce awesome. Couldn't tell you what it stands for though. It's Italian. It's Italian. Lots of different programs can run on these. Different visualization platforms can be used to program them, and they have computer capabilities in addition to visualization. Our PanelView 5000 is programmed using Studio 5000 View Designer, and it's focused on integration with a Logix controller. So you'll have enhanced capabilities there, but you're tied to a Logix controller. Panel View Plus is controller agnostic. It's programmed using FactoryTalk View ME, and you can configure it to communicate with third-party controllers if they're part of your system too. So similarly to the code conversion mentioned earlier, if you're moving from RS View to one of our newer View Designer or FactoryTalk View platforms, we have some available tools here that are free of charge to convert your tag database, your alarms, and HMI tags as well to help reduce that time that it takes to create a new project. The displays would have to be generated again on that new software, but it's a lot less of a headache using the newer software than RS View was. So beyond PLCs and HMIs, as a software TC tech consultant, I have to give these guys a plug. We really have a great investment right now in our software portfolio, and it's still expanding. So if IT and OT integration or advanced analytics or reporting is important to your company, we do have some really great products like FactoryTalk Analytics, DataView, Metrics, Historian, and Asset Center that are more on the information software side and will enable you to do better reporting, more automated trending and things like that. If these are of interest to you, I'll show you guys where you can learn more. Of course, we also have communication gateways and emulation options, as well as MOM and MES systems, and our software portfolio is constantly growing. So I do recommend that if software is an area where your company wants to grow, reaching out to your local contact and starting that conversation. That said, beyond software and PLCs and HMIs, we have smart devices and components with automatic diagnostics when used in tandem with our Logix portfolio, motion control, visualization solutions, networks and security. We offer cybersecurity support and offerings, and data analytics, which I mentioned briefly. Where do you go from here? In terms of product usage support, we have our knowledge base and literature library, which are available for our customers to consult for support. And Tech Connect is our paid tech support service with 24/7 support for our products. In terms of services that we offer across the country, we offer field service engineering, so you can pay for one of our guys to be one of your guys for the day. Cybersecurity, networking, motion, migration, info software consulting. We've got a lot of folks that have a lot of experience in automation and industrial control. So if you have an issue, we'll find a way to help you. And locally at each territory office, there are account managers like Diana, technology and solutions consultants. I'm a technology consultant, but solutions consultants have a higher level view and can maybe take more of an application stance and support you for more of a design side, as well as trusted system integrators across the country if you're looking to partner with someone for an upcoming project. So those exist in all of our sales offices across the country. Of course, Diana and I are based here in Denver, but we're happy to help connect you with someone local to your place of work as well. Great. That's all I have for you. Thank you. Any questions about PLC modernization, HMIs, supply chain? Which product? Yes, so we have, it's compatible with all Windows, not all, most enterprise platforms. I would consult our PCDC, Product Compatibility and Download Center, which is public facing, and they have detailed information about which systems are supported. Additionally, there you can see life cycle status information for both hardware and software. I'm hesitant to give you any sure answer ever, but PCDC is kind of the Bible when it comes to compatibility on different operating systems and between our products themselves. It is. It is. I can pull that up now and show you folks where to find it. Thank you.
A lot. So Rockwell Automation has been challenged with supply chain, just like any manufacturer or any company. We've had consistent supply component shortages. We have noticed how our senior leadership has taken a shift to meet that head on. We're actively working to increase our own production capacity. We've increased production lines here within the US. We have 9 facilities manufacturing across Wisconsin, Ohio, Upper New York, and then we also have manufacturing facilities in China. And we've increased production lines in China as well. As it relates to lead times, we have an active website where you can go in and you can check product groups. If you just want to know about compact logic controllers, shows you total number of days, and then an up, down, or stagnant arrow of whether or not we're improving in lead times there. Traditionally, we're seeing right around 170 days for our PLCs right now. So if you order today, you can expect product in 5 months. We're getting really good at being consistent with our product arrival delivery dates now. This year, scope creep on that has been very painful. So we're better at it. That's your question.
One thing to add, a lot of what I do for our customers is find alternative options that meet their application needs, but maybe have a shorter lead time. So again, working with your local account manager and tech consultant can help you identify things that you can get your hands on faster. Absolutely. So here I just Googled Rockwell Automation Integrated Architecture Builder, which is a mouthful, but it's part of this product selection toolbox download. And also part of that is Proposal Works, which I think is, I don't know, underutilized. It's one of few places that you can see all of our catalog numbers in one place, and you can see their list price, which is a treat. So I would definitely recommend downloading those and poking around. They've got some helpful configuration wizards to kind of guide you through the selection process because it can really be daunting. We've got thousands of SKUs, so would recommend starting there for sure.
Programming system, a resource to be on site for, call it, X days. We have those resources available. We care a lot about customer loyalty and, again, partnership. So please let us know if we can be helped.
Yes.
Rockwell has struggled in that category. I think it's safe to say. Everyone has. Inflation is definitely real, and we have seen price increases throughout the year. CiSCO and our local distributor partners just negotiated and reviewed pricing increases for 2020. Rockwell has been a late comer to figuring out the best way to help the customer base and not have to absorb price increases throughout the year. What we did in 2022 is we only had customers absorb price increases at one time of the year when their special pricing agreement renewed. And we got a lot of pushback from that. Like, no, I'd rather actually absorb a price increase in November if you're hitting it in November rather than waiting until when my contract renews in August and get an even higher increase. Because of one that came out in March as well. So we changed our agreements from fixed to floating. And by that, when Rockwell gets hit with supplier increases, we try to absorb as much as we can, but we may have to extend it to our customer base. We are actively trying to go back to our model of only a single price increase per year, which always happens in the summer. Actually, September, right before our fiscal year hits, because our company's new fiscal year is October 1st. TMI, but sure. So I hope that provides some insight. We're definitely making efforts to secure stronger supplier relationships, especially in semiconductor. We've made agreements that are 3- and 5-year agreements with our suppliers so that we can achieve demand, we can relieve our backlog, and we can get product to our customers.
Yeah, and across the board, of course, inflation will have an impact, but in the migration realm specifically, there are often programs or agreements if you choose to return your existing controller for a price decrease and things like that. Things tend to be a very case-by-case basis, so having a relationship with that Rockwell account manager will, I think, be a huge support for each of you. Especially around modernization. We love modernization.
My colleague David back here has a tablet with him today. I'd like to share your contact information so we can follow up with you. Maybe do a deeper conversation on something that matters to you. Please let us know. We're here to help you folks.
Great. Thank you.